Hey, what is up, guys? It's Marble Tyler here, and I'm starting a new series. I'm hoping to do it every week. Maybe it won't be every week, maybe every other week. We're doing some top 10s, top 5s, all that good stuff. We're possibly doing some ranking, so if I ever ranking the Halo games. But today, we're doing a top 10. We're doing the top 10 Sergeant Johnson quotes. Now, Sergeant Johnson is a beloved, fan favorite character, arguably the third best character in the Halo series. He's the comic relief, he's a fan favorite. He's probably my favorite. No, I mean, he's my favorite of the side characters. But of course, here we go. We're going to start with number 10. To make this very clear real quick, I'm going to set some rules. I try to focus on cutscenes only for these quotes. These are, from epic speeches or different cutscenes, so there's no in-game, things. And this is my list. If you think something is more iconic, go ahead and put it in the comics. Go ahead and put it in the comments. I would love to hear it because truthfully, it was kind of challenging to make this list because there's some really, really great quotes, and then towards the end, it kind of tapers off. But maybe some more quotes resonated, or I missed some. So go ahead and put it in the comments if you think there's better ones. With that being said, let's get started. So starting off with number 10, we have the first time the Arbiter connects with Sergeant Johnson. They kind of team up, and Sergeant Johnson has a scarab, and it's kind of a funny connection where Sergeant Johnson has, by all means, the capabilities of blowing the Arbiter away with the scarab, but he doesn't. And they team up. They go on to take on Tartarus. Honestly, it's just a great scene. It's got some humor, but there's not much to it.
Listen, you don't like me, and I sure as hell don't like you. But if we don't do something, Mr. Mohawk's gonna activate this ring, and we're all gonna die.
Tartarus has locked himself inside the control room.
Well, I just happen to have a key. Come on, grab a banshee and give me some cover. Gonna know what's coming.
Now, this next scene is, of course, the beginning of Halo 2. Right when Johnson's just walking with you, and it tells you that he was expecting you to wear something nice, is right after Chief asks about the cameras. It's just a great opening, and it kind of introduces Johnson as more of a mainstay to the characters in the series, as opposed to the first game where he was just kind of the sergeant. He's just one of the soldiers. He's a very memorable soldier, but he's just another one of those. Well, in this game, he is one of the main characters.
You told me there wouldn't be any cameras.
And you told me you were gonna wear something nice. Folks need heroes, Chief, to give them hope. So smile, would you? Well, we still got something to smile about.
You look nice.
Thank you.
Sergeant.
Now, this next one's a very, very small line, and it's just pretty simple. It's just our kind of reaction to the epic moment that is Chief flying out of the ship with his bomb and blowing up a Covenant ship. I mean, it's just awesome, and we love it. And then we see him, go flying in the distance towards the Amber Clad, and Johnson just says, one of the greatest, very short, very quick, but beautiful lines.
He flew pretty good.
Chief, get inside. Gear up.
Now up next is one of our only Halo 3 quotes. I found out that Johnson, in cutscenes at least, isn't as memorable in Halo 3, besides obviously two very significant moments that are on this list. Most of his great dialogue comes from in-game stuff, which isn't bad by any means. But yeah, that's just something that I never really thought about. But yeah, this is when, right in the beginning, Chief lands from space, because he always jumps, and he just flies from space, and so this is when Johnson finds him, and this is his response.
Radio for VTOL. Heavy lift gear. We're not leaving him here.
Yeah, you're not.
Oh, crazy fool. Why do you always jump? One of these days, you're gonna land on something as stubborn as you are. And I don't do bits and pieces.
Now this next one's another very, very short one. It's meant to mimic the player's reaction to the scene. Obviously in Halo 2, we leave Earth and we find the second Halo ring. And at that announcement, the player had no idea that was coming. They could have guessed, but they really had no idea. And Johnson's reaction is supposed to mimic what we were thinking. It's pretty funny to watch.
Cortana, what exactly am I looking at?
That is another Halo.
Say what?
So this is what my father found.
Now this one is the second and final scene from Halo 3. Of course, this is towards the very end. This is the last mission, second to last cutscene, unless you're doing the legendary ending. And tragically, this is where Johnson dies, right where he's killed by Guilty Spark. He's just got a very memorable quote to Chief, and that's his friend dying. It's something we don't really see in Chief, and honestly, it's one of the only character-driven moments we really see in Chief. Honestly, most of those are only from Halo 3, and it's absolutely wonderful to see this character and the way he goes.
I'm getting you out of here.
No, you're not. Don't let her go. Don't ever let her go. Send me out with a bang.
Now that last one still really gets to me, but moving on, we have the Halo 1 Legendary ending. So obviously going back to comedy, this is the non-canon Legendary ending. It's a great ending. It shows off Johnson as a character being really funny. Again, he wasn't much of a character in Halo 1, but again, he's just pretty funny in this scene, so it has to be up here on the list.
Come here, you mother... I'm gonna... This is it, baby.
Now, these last three are all interchangeable for me. Honestly, they're all just such great scenes. But if we're going with this one, we're going to talk about the Halo 2 tank speech. Now, there are 4 different speeches depending on the difficulty you're playing on. Now, so I chose my favorite out of each of them. You might have a different favorite. Again, leave it in the comments below if you do have a different favorite. But I chose for the tank speech the heroic, which includes 2 sticks and a rock.
Where's the rest of your platoon?
Wasted, Sarge.
And we will be too, sir, if we don't get the hell out of here.
You hit Marine?
No, sir.
Then listen up. When I joined the Corps, we didn't have any fancy schmancy tanks. We had sticks. 2 sticks and a rock for a whole platoon. And we had to share the rock. Buck up, boy. You're one very lucky Marine.
What about that scarab?
We've all run the simulations. They're tough, but they ain't invincible. Stay with the Master Chief. He'll know what to do.
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Thanks for the tank. He never gets me anything.
Oh, I know what the ladies like.
Now again, choose your favorite out of all the different difficulties. This is another one where whatever difficulty you're playing changes the speech. It's right at the beginning of Halo 1. And honestly, it just gets you pumped. It's kind of your first intro to like, oh, it's going to be action-packed and awesome. And, you know, this man's going to pump you up. And, you know, this is pretty funny, especially if you're on the legendary ending, which is my favorite. So go ahead and take a listen.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
Man, we led those dumb bugs out to the middle of nowhere to keep them from getting their filthy claws on Earth. But we stumbled onto something that's so hot for them that they're scrambling over each other to get it. Well, I don't care if it's God's own anti-son-of-a-bitch machine or a giant hula hoop. We're not gonna let them have it. What we will let them have is a belly full of lead and a pool of their own blood to drown in. Am I right, Marines? Sir, yes, sir! Damn right I am. Now move it out! Double time!
Attention all personnel. We are ready.
What we have for number 1 is my favorite cutscene, probably all of Halo. And it's very iconic. Obviously, this has got a rank in the top few for most people. It's the regret cutscene. Johnson giving the speech as you're going into battle. You see the scarab for the first time. And Johnson's quotes are just phenomenal. So go ahead, take a listen. This is the number 1 spot, at least in my opinion.
The message just repeats. Regret. Regret. Regret.
Catchy. Any idea what it means?
Dear humanity, we regret being alien bastards. We regret coming to Earth. And we most definitely regret the Corps just blew up our raggedy-ass fleet! Hoorah!
Regret is a name, Sergeant. The name of one of the Covenant's religious leaders, a prophet. He's on that carrier, and he's calling for help.
Immediate. Grid Kilo 2-3 is hot. Recommend mission abort.
Roger, Recon. It's your call, Sarge.
We're going in. Get tactical, Marines!
There you go, guys. Let me know what you thought. If you agree, go ahead and like the video. If you disagreed, put it in the comments. Let me know what you thought should have been changed. If there's anything I missed, go ahead and throw it on there. But this has been your top 10 quotes from Sergeant Johnson. Maybe we'll do, for example, like one-liners from Master Chief in the future, or different Halo moments, or cutscenes, or any awesome cool stuff. But check back to STG. We have all kinds of awesome gaming content, and I hope to see you in the game.